Are you suffering from sciatica, which is causing nerve pain in your leg, and you're wondering which exercises you should avoid? If you are, then this video has the answers for you. Hi everybody, my name is Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties Specialist Physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And today I'm going to be revealing the exercises you should avoid when you have sciatica. Now, before we dive into the content of today's video, if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to the channel because it really helps me to reach more people and you'll be the first person to know when new videos come out. Now that that's been said, let's talk about sciatica. So sciatica is a word which just describes a symptom, which is nerve pain in the leg. Now, sciatica is a symptom and there are many different causes of sciatica. And these are including, but not limited to, a disc bulge or a disc herniation, spinal stenosis. You can have a facet joint problem, which causes sciatica. You can have piriformis syndrome, and you can have lots of other different things as well that can press on a nerve and cause nerve pain in the leg. Now, sciatica is categorized or typicalized by pain that runs down the back of the leg. Sometimes it can just go into the buttock. Sometimes it can go right down to the knee. Sometimes it can go all the way down the back of the leg into the toes. Now, obviously, because sciatica is caused by different things, depending on what causes your sciatica, that will dictate what things you need to do and what things you need to avoid. With that being said, there is one particular category of exercises that everyone should avoid, which most people don't know they should avoid, which is relevant to everyone with sciatica because it makes the problem worse. And that category of things you should avoid is something we call hamstring stretches. Now, in a minute, we're going to have a look at some hamstring stretches so I can show you exactly which exercises you should avoid. But what we need to understand here is that the hamstrings are the muscles that exist at the back of your thigh. So they exist at the back of the thigh. They are here in the leg, okay? This is where the hamstrings are. They go from the bottom crease of your buttock right down past the knee, just to the top of the calf there. And the hamstrings are often a muscle group that feels tight when we have sciatica. And the reason they feel tight is because the sciatic nerve runs very close by to the hamstrings. Now, the problem is, when we try to stretch the hamstrings, we also, without meaning to, almost always stretch the sciatic nerve as well. And if the sciatic nerve is irritated or pinched, stretching it is going to make it worse. So this is why stretching the hamstrings makes sciatica worse, and this is why everyone with sciatica should avoid this kind of exercise. Now, nerves hate to be stretched. If you stretch a nerve, it's going to irritate it. And unfortunately, there's no way to stretch your hamstrings without also putting the sciatic nerve under tension. Why would people stretch their hamstrings when they have sciatica? Well, the reason is because it feels like there's tightness at the back of the thigh. And when we have tightness, we've been taught for most of our lives that if something feels tight, you should stretch it because you can relieve the tightness. So it's actually, it makes sense that people would stretch the hamstrings, but this is a huge mistake people make. And it's one of the biggest exercises I see people come in and they say, I'm doing it all the time and it's not getting better. And the reason is they're making the sciatica worse. So now you understand why stretching the hamstrings is such a bad thing. Let's have a look at some hamstring stretches to avoid, just so you know what we're dealing with. So there are 3 different hamstring stretches that you need to avoid if you want to stop making your sciatica worse. So I'm going to demonstrate each one of them now. They all do the same thing, which is stretching the back of the thigh, the group of muscles called the hamstrings, but they're all equally as dangerous for your recovery from sciatica, so avoid them at all costs. So the first one, and the common one I see people do, is a hamstring stretch in sitting. And what this looks like is someone sitting perched on the edge of their chair, and if this here is the bad leg, they will extend the bad leg out like this, they'll have this knee bent, and then they'll lean forward. Now, what you'll get if you are stretching the hamstrings is a pull down the back of the leg. But if you have sciatica, you'll probably also feel tension in the sciatic nerve as well, which is not a good thing because remember, we're trying to avoid stretching the nerve in the leg. So that's the first exercise to avoid when you have sciatica. The second one is a similar stretch but done in standing. So that looks something like this. I see people doing this one all the time. They feel that they've got pain in the back of their thigh, so they'll put their leg out like this and they'll lean forward and they'll try and get a stretch in the back of the leg. And again, this is a mistake because it stretches the sciatic nerve and can make sciatica worse. Now, the final stretch that you should avoid, or the final exercise you should avoid when you have sciatica, is the lying down hamstring stretch. And that looks something like this. So you lie on your back, you bring your leg up like this, you hold your leg at the back, and then you just pull your leg up. Now, again, this position stretches the sciatic nerve. It goes all the way down to the toes and will make sciatica worse. Even if it feels like you're doing the right thing, this is definitely a position to avoid when you have sciatica. And the main mistake people make when they do this is they also pull their toes up towards them. Now, it intensifies the stretch, and the reason it does that is because it puts the sciatic nerve on more tension. So again, this is another way people are making their sciatica worse. So those are the three exercises you should avoid. They're all hamstring stretches. They stretch the same muscle group, but if you do them when you have sciatica, you're going to make your symptoms worse. So those are the exercises to avoid when you have sciatica. I hope that's made sense, and I hope that my explanation has made sense as to why we need to avoid hamstring stretches and why that will help your sciatica get better if you stop stretching them. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. If you enjoyed the content of the video, please leave me a comment below and also pick up a copy of my book if you want more tips like this one from me. It's called Thriving Beyond 50 and it's perfect for over 50s who want to stay active, mobile and independent in their 50s and beyond. And that's all I've got for you today. Thank you very much for watching the video. I appreciate your time and I look forward to speaking to you on the next one.